So welcome to the Energy Healing Lifestyle Journal Self-Care Challenge. My name is Robin Knott, and I'm your host of the channel and the founder of the energyhealingschool.com. So today I'm going to walk you through my journaling process and share some real life examples along the way. I'm going to ask for some grace. I'm kind of bundled up. It's been cold. Maybe it's been cold where you are as well. I got like my blanket, the hood, I got a heater going. Trust in layers. It's still cold. That's okay. We still journal. So grab yours. I have mine. Come journal with me. So again, just being in that mindset to be open and listening, right? Really actively listening to whatever it is that needs my attention, whatever it is that needs your attention. When you talk to other people, you ask a question, you wait to hear what they have to say afterwards, right? We're doing the same with journaling process. We're asking ourselves the question, and then we're waiting and just listening to see what comes up. I like to write out the word self-care challenge because for us, self-care is an acronym, and today is the letter R for receiving. And if you're familiar with my healing system, today is a letter U, or best U, which stands for unconditional love. So I pull that in too. And then it's all governed by the Crown Chakra. So we touch on the Crown Chakra Energy as well, right? Because they go hand in hand. So I don't know that I say it every time. I would like to remind myself to say it every time because we do need that reminder to keep our chakras clear. That when we do our journaling process and things that come up for us, those are indicators that the energy is a bit wonky, right? And as the energy stays wonky, it helps then feed the hamster wheel. It helps feed the cycle to just continue repeating itself. So we can energetically clear chakras, whether you work with energy or not, like Reiki, for an example. When we journal, we're also working with the energy, right? Because everything is energy. We keep separating that, we being humans, keep separating that. But I want to remind us of that, right? And we can help. I don't like the words manipulate and control, but influence, how's that? Influence the energy, work with the energy, with our minds, with our thought processes, and what we are creating. So journaling helps bring it into our awareness, right? So then we can make choices. It's empowering because then we can make those choices and decide if there's something that needs our attention. If we need to just hold space for it, and I don't mean to minimize that because sometimes that's a challenge all in itself, is to hold space for the things that need to come up. And or is there a way that we can work through writing, through mindset, through what are the words I'm looking for? Like mantras, affirmations. These words weren't coming to me. However it is. But again, just a little side note that we are working with energy. When we are journaling, we work with energy. When we're thinking, we're working with and creating energy. When we're thinking about something enough that we have those emotions and those feelings, we're amplifying the energy of whatever it is we're thinking and feeling, right? Do we internalize it? Do we complete the hamster wheel all through the chakras as we've done throughout the week, right? So then before I get ahead of myself even more, the journal prompt for today. So I ask myself, how do you receive love as an overachiever? Well, there were some times I think I really didn't. I blocked it more than receiving it. So then it brought up the question again, is it conditional? Because today, again, in my healing system, we talk about unconditional love, right? So whether it's current or in reflection, has it been conditional? And this is what I mean. Do you perceive it to be conditional? Meaning, do you have the belief that people only love you when you are successful? Do you have the belief that people only love you when they want something from you? Do you have the belief that you are unlovable? Because in your mind, you are quote unquote never successful, right? Sometimes when you're in the pattern of being an overachiever, there's that idea that we never truly reach success. There's always another step. There's that you can always go a little bit further and do a little bit more. And it's just that ongoing push, right? It's almost an obsession. It's like being the workaholic, always doing more, always doing better. And I don't mean that to just, in striving. Like, sure, we can always strive to do better. Excuse me, but in the way that's really not healthy for us, in the way that's creating anxiety, in a way that's creating depression, in a way that is creating barriers in our relationships, or what's another word I'm looking for? More challenges or conflicts, conflicts, icky stuff in our relationships, right? Is it so much that is creating more stress within ourselves because we are perceiving that we can never reach that level of success where it's good enough, where we are good enough, right? So again, check in with your beliefs. Remember, in my healing system, beliefs sit in the root chakra. So we can go from, if you notice the days, right? So tomorrow we come back to full circle to the root chakra and the beliefs in our healing system and focusing on self, increasing our self-awareness. And also, so I guess I'm just sharing with you because this is for you. Take it whichever way you want to. Go directly to your beliefs and check in right there, and or go from the crown chakra to the third eye chakra. Get in that observer mode as well, right? Where we're accepting things as they are, not to add blame, shame, and guilt, not to beat ourselves up for a belief that we've been holding on to and cycling through over and over, even though we think we've been doing enough healing or whatever, whatever that brain wants to start doing. Accepting it as it is so that we can go ahead and decide what change we want to make, if there's a change we want to make. Because when we don't accept it, then we are just resisting it. And when we just resist it, and we allow it to continue to spin on the hamster wheel, we'll continue to repeat those cycles over and over. And we continue to hold on to those old programs that we are trying to release. We're holding on to and repeating those old patterns, codependency patterns, that we are trying to break and clear away and release, right? Let's see. I believe that's all I had in my journal. I, peeked at a article as well. Oh, so some things that just came up in this article. 9 ways being an overachiever hurts a relationship. So when it comes to relationships with others, we can see how being a workaholic could affect our relationships, right? What kind of time we spend. But how does that also affect the relationship within ourselves, with our highest self? How does being a workaholic affect the relationship with you, the true you, the highest you? Can work in the aspect of human, right? Human life, human work, not saying it doesn't have any purpose, but that much time that we spend thinking and doing on tasks, can it be a distraction sometimes? Does it keep us from connecting within? And I do quotes for connecting because we're always connected, but we're not always aware of the connection because we're avoiding something or we're just distracted from it. And when we do that, are we blocking ourselves from receiving love from the source of unconditional love? And I point up, not that it's only above us, but meaning higher vibrational, higher than human, right? Higher than humanness, higher than ego. So source, God, the source of unconditional love is everywhere, not just up. But again, just to kind of get us thinking about higher than humanness, higher than our ego, higher than these patterns, right? We are more than these old programs and these old patterns. Another was they need to control. That's another big one. In humanness, in our egos, wanting to control. Because when we are really being open and aligned with our highest, we're releasing that control. It's like that surrender. We surrender the human and be open to receive, be open to align with the source of unconditional love, to then follow the guidance, right? We then are not the ones in control. Yeah. When we are focused on control, we then block the energy. We then block our own receiving of unconditional love because we're trying to control it. Another in the article, they are plagued by anxiety. Well, stress, right? Trying to make it perfect, trying to overachieve, trying to reach a success that we perceive doesn't exist. So we can see why that could create some anxiety, yeah? And if I'm feeling anxious, if you're feeling overstressed, are you then receiving love in those moments? Not saying that love isn't given to us, but are we actually receiving it in those moments? And I'm going to say probably not, right? Probably not. Another in this article, they are never satisfied. So in those moments when the mind chatter might be starting, like what we talked about, what I shared a little bit in the journaling as we got started, do we feel unlovable? And when that happens, that's definitely not a feeling of satisfaction, right? Or when we think that that love is conditional, then that's probably not a very satisfied feeling. So those are just a few. I won't go through the whole article, but there's just a few I wanted to touch on just to bring it in and also connect that. Be mindful of your relationships with others, because oftentimes we pick up on contrast, conflict with others before we see it within ourselves. So as you see it, because we project out, right? So as you see something going on with a relationship with someone else, take a look within as well. And I don't just mean, I mean both. I don't just mean look at yourself and what you're doing and start beating yourself up. If you've noticed that, maybe you've been doing something that's creating that conflict, be aware of it to change it, not to beat yourself up. But also within you, what are you more aligned with in that moment? What are you focusing on in that moment? Are you sitting in humanness, or are you, right? Is that like a cue to take a break, get quiet? Meditation is a good way to realign with our highest self. So take that break, get quiet, and align with the source of unconditional love, with our highest self. So allow ourselves to be guided and not try to micromanage everything, right? Because when we're open, we're then more able and willing to receive love from God's source, the source of unconditional love, from ourselves within and from others. And then we can share more as well, right? The more love we have within, the more love we can share outwards. So crown chakra energy, we can see how that whole process can either help clear and balance the energy in the crown chakra or make it wonky and kind of block it up, gunk it up, right? I don't think I've used that word in a while. Gunk it up. So crown chakra energy, when it's wonky, in addition to the things we've discussed already, you may experience migraines, tension headaches, have that narrow focus again, right? Focusing on the human, focusing on human success, focusing on human controls, narrow focus. Again, stuck in humanness, feelings of unworthiness, unsatisfied, things not being good enough, love is conditioned, right? Having that perception that love is conditioned, and feeling disconnected from that source of unconditional love, God, source, creator, whatever name you use. Again, over focus on human, right? So let me invite you to head over to the energyhealingschool.com. There's the 7-day chakra healing challenge if you would like to look more into that on how to clearing and healing and balancing the energy in all 7 chakras. I know we have more than that, but I focus on the main 7. We have the Empathic Healers Masterclass for setting boundaries and protecting our energy. And also, of course, we are launching not tomorrow, but the following Monday, the 5-day BU challenge. Breaking these patterns of codependency. Again, please don't get hung up on the word of codependency. We're breaking old patterns and programs. So if any of these journaling prompts are resonating with you, then it fits. I'll just say that. So if you're like, I don't know, whatever your thoughts or ideas are about codependency, or again, don't let the word um, skew you too much. It's more about the patterns and how to break them, freeing ourselves from them, right? Getting off the hamster wheel, not repeating those cycles over and over and over again. So yeah, hopefully I will see you there. Thank you again for sharing your time and space with me. Let me know in the comments how it's going for you, what's coming up for you in this journaling process. And I will see you tomorrow for root chakra healing, when we're focusing again on self and mind, body, and spirit, increasing our awareness, including our beliefs. So much love. Have a wonderful day, evening, whatever time in the world it is for you. Bye, guys.